I want to be real with you for a second, because when I first started selling AI agents to businesses, I was doing everything wrong. I was spending hours every single week trying to build a perfect AI system, watching every single YouTube tutorial under the sun to make sure the back end was dialed in. And after all of that, I was stuck making a few $1,000s a month with my agency, grinding hard and barely even moving the needle. It wasn't until I flipped my entire approach upside down. In the past few months alone, I've generated over 6 figures in profit with my AI agency. So today, I'm gonna give you the 3 things that I wish someone told me when I was just starting out. Because if you're building an AI agency right now, or even just thinking about it, these 3 things will be the difference between staying broke and building something life-changing. Here's what we're going to cover. 1, to master the art of selling rather than the actual building of these AI systems and agents. 2, understanding the importance of value and quality over quantity. 3, how to charge high ticket prices to your clients and have an over 70% close rate on sales calls. And honestly, the key to all of this is the 3rd step, because that's what allows you to charge way more money. I'm going to show you how to position yourself so $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 services that you're charging to these business owners seems like a no-brainer, and you to close the deal 70% of the time. And by the end of this video, I can promise you one thing: you're going to have a completely different understanding of actually how to run a successful AI agency in 2026. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Real quick, I want to be transparent about where I'm coming from here. I'm not some crazy technical genius, some crazy coder. I couldn't write a line of code if my life depended on it. What I figured out is that the AI agency space is not a tech business, it's a consulting business. And once I figured that out, everything changed. I went from barely scraping together a few $1,000s a month with my agency to now making over 6 figures in profit in the past few months alone. And I have students that I've personally mentored one-on-one with zero tech background who have scaled their AI agency from $0 to $10,000 a month in under 2 months. And they were using the exact same approach I'm about to break down for you right now. So whether you're a complete beginner or you're trying to make this work and you feel stuck, this video is for you. If you want me to personally help you start your AI agency from scratch and make sure you're doing everything right from the jump, click the link below and apply to work with me one-on-one. But for now, let's get right into the first thing. Point 1, don't build, sell. The first point I wanted to make is to not build, but sell. Here's what almost every beginner does when they decide to start an AI agency. They spend the first month or even longer going into building the best backend system for these AI businesses, going through trying to build the best NAN workflow, make.com workflow, or even building the perfect retail agent. But at the end of the day, this feels like you're working and it feels like you're being productive, but you're not really getting anything done. And this is truthfully the biggest downfall of the AI space. The AI tools are cool, they're awesome, but at the end of the day, if you don't know how to sell, these tools will do nothing for you. So the truth is, you're not working, you're just procrastinating with a little bit of a tech AI pizzazz to it. And that's why so many people in the AI space end up staying broke and never even close their first deal. And you know what? I made the same mistake. I was so focused on building the perfect AI system that I forgot to learn how to sell. And when I had my, perfect AI system, I didn't know what to do. The best way to make money in the AI space is just getting in front of business owners, starting conversations, and actually selling. And you know what happens when you spend 0 time selling and all of your time building? You end up with a really impressive demo and $0 in your bank account. And I see this all the time. People are stuck at $2,000 to $3,000 a month. They're spending half their day building out AI systems with no clients that actually want to buy them. And I apologize that I keep saying this over and over, but seriously, you have to get this part out of your head. It's not going to make you any money. You need to learn how to sell. Think about it this way. Imagine you built the most advanced AI voice agent on the planet. It sounds completely human. It can handle every objection. It books all the appointments directly into the calendar. It's updating all the time. It's doing follow-ups. It's absolutely perfect. Now what? If you don't know how to get in front of business owners and articulate the actual value of that system, they will never pull out their credit card. And now that AI agent that you spent months perfecting is worth exactly $0. The technology is worthless without the sale, period. And here's the beautiful part. The opposite is also true. You can know almost nothing about how to build these AI systems, yet still make a fortune if you know how to sell and consult these business owners. That's literally only $1,500 to $2,000, and you keep the rest as profit. So now all you got to do is focus on closing more deals, keeping 80 to 85% of the profit margin, and you don't have to worry about the entire build out of the AI agent. You're not the builder, you're the consultant. You're the bridge between the business owner and the perfect AI solution for their business. Your job is to understand their business, identify their problems, and then position AI as the only solution to their problem. And then the developer handles all the technical implementation. That's it. So if selling is the most important skill, how does that actually look like in practice? This is where I want to introduce you to something called PPM, the Pain Point Prioritization Method. And this is the exact framework I use on every single sales call. And it's exactly what took me from closing maybe 1 or 2 out of every 10 meetings to closing 70% of the meetings I've hopped on, 7 out of 10. So here's how it works. Step 1, as soon as you jump on that sales call, you're building rapport and you're identifying what's going on in that business. You're asking open-ended questions, really just getting an idea of what their current operations are looking like and where they're potentially leaking money. Remember, you're not pitching, you're just simply investigating. And at this stage is where you really build a good relationship with the client as well. And that rapport will carry on throughout the call and into the deal close. Questions like, walk me through a typical day. Where do things kind of get chaotic? What's like your current system right now when it comes to answering the phone? Are you doing it yourself, or do you sort of have a team behind you that's handling that? Are you happy with that system? Do you think that system is treating you well? Would you like to make adjustments to that system? What has been sort of, the limiting factors of that system? How do you think you can make it better? Or like, what opportunities are you missing right now because you just don't have the capacity or the time to get to them? When someone calls, how often do those calls typically go to voicemail? Again, that's very basic, but just general open-ended questions like that get that business owner talking, and you're taking notes either physically or mentally the entire time, because you're going to use this as ammunition later on in the call when it comes to closing the deal. Step 2 is to then quantify, actually attaching a dollar amount to each of their pain points. And this is where it gets really powerful. Let's say they mention that they miss calls after hours. You ask, well, roughly how many calls are you missing per week? They say we're missing 20 calls a week. And then you ask them, well, what's the average value of each customer? And they tell you it's $800. So now you just do the math with them. So that's 20 missed calls a week. If even just half of those converted, that's 10 people, $800 each, $8,000 missed out every single week. That's $32,000 a month, almost $400,000 a year. And it's always so funny to see their face when they watch that number land and they realize how much money they've been losing out on because they don't have systems in place to address this issue. Most of the time, talking to the business owners, they don't even realize this is an issue and how much money they could actually be making on top of what they currently are if they had AI systems in place that allow them to address these things. Step 3 is to now prioritize. You have a list of pain points with a dollar amount attached to each of them. So now you recapped everything that you found, repeated it all over again, and then you ask them, if I could fix one of these problems in the next 30 days, which one would it be? And which one is the most valuable to you? Let them decide. Let them tell you what matters most. And only then, after all of that, do you pitch your solution. And here's the key. You're not selling AI. You're selling the solution to the problem that's costing them $400,000 a year. Because here's where people make a mistake in the AI space. They get into AI, they get so hyped about how cool it sounds, they begin just selling AI. All they talk about is AI in the back-end systems. But the reality is the business owner doesn't care. They only care about saving time and making more money. So you have to talk in their language. AI is simply only the vehicle that delivers the outcome that they are looking for. So always remember that. When you master PPM, your $10,000 fee doesn't seem expensive. It seems like the obvious move. So stop building, start selling, learn PPM, and that's where everything will change. Point 2 that I wanted to make is value is everything. Quality over quantity. Let me take you back real quick to the early days of my agency. I didn't launch with 10 clients. I didn't have some big splash moment. I started exactly where most of you guys are, calling every business owner I knew, trying to see who would give me a shot. And after just about a month and a half of grinding, I finally landed my first client for $4,000. And that was a big moment for me. And it showed me that all of my hard work paid off. But here's what was even more important than that $4,000. The client got results, real, measurable, undeniable result. And the solution that I implemented into his business, he almost saw an ROI immediately. And even though I was only in their business for a week at the time, they were so happy with how I treated them, the rapport that I built with them, and we stayed in contact and we had really excellent communication. I managed the developer meticulously and I actually delivered something that moved the needle for their business, unlike all these other agencies they were working with previously. Because I hate to toot my own horn, but I understood something early on in my AI journey that completely transformed the trajectory of my business. That first client isn't just worth $4,000. That first client is worth every other client they're going to send you if you do a good job. And sure enough, going to that second month, that one client referred me to 2 other business owners in his network, and I closed both of them. And the total for the first 60 days of running my AI business was $12,500. Not because I was the best AI business owner in the world, not because I had the most advanced systems, but because I delivered real, genuine value and cared about my client's success, not just that first sale. I treated that client like they were worth millions of dollars because they genuinely work. Referrals are everything, and people in this space just don't talk about it enough. And it's because they're hiding it from you. Your best source of new clients is your existing clients, not some crazy cold calling script, not some crazy advanced expert email campaign. It is your existing clients, your warm leads. Think about it from a business owner's perspective. They're being pitched by agencies, consultants every single week. They've been burned before, they had bad experiences, they're hearing the same pitch over and over and over again. But when a trusted colleague or a good friend in their network says, hey, you gotta meet this guy, Angelo, he saved me over $15,000 last week, and I really think his AI systems can benefit your business as well. They've been absolutely insane for us. That conversation is already closed before it even starts. And that's the power of a strong referral network, because the trust is already there. So here's what you do to build a referral network systematically. First things first, just provide real, genuine value to your clients, and don't work with the client if you feel like you can't help them and you're just trying to get that upfront fee. Because first of all, that's not what we do as AI consultants. That's not the narrative that we represent. After 15 to 30 days after implementing your AI solution, you get on a call with the client or even just text them and say something like this message. Hey, business owner's name, I'm so glad that I've been able to help you generate X result. I was curious if you would know any other business owners going through some similar challenges that you were going through before we started working together. Would you care to introduce me to, 2 or 3 people that might benefit from the same thing that we applied to you? And if you actually delivered and you provided them an ROI, it's an easy yes, because you've actually changed the trajectory of their business. God, I love running an AI agency because I'm providing so much value to these people. And you could literally even make it even easier. You could give them a pre-written message that they could send to other business owners in their network. Hey, business owner friend, I want to introduce you to Angelo. He helped us deliver X result for our business, and I think he did the same thing for you. I would love you guys hopped on a call and just had a quick chat. Done. You just got a warm introduction to a pre-sold prospect. That easy. And you can even pour gasoline on it and give the business owner 10% once you close the deal. I've done that a few times as well. Or maybe a free month of the service, a little bit of drop on their monthly retainer. Make it worth their while, because at the end of the day, value and connections and building really great rapport and relationships with your clients is everything. I can't stress it enough. If you do this right, pretty much every client you work with has the potential to generate you 1, 2, 3, even 4 more clients. That is genuine compounding growth. And that's how you go from making a few grand a month to making over 6 figures in profit in just the past few months alone, like I did. And you don't have to burn yourself out on cold outreach to run a successful AI business. So remember, quality over quantity. 1 great client delivered with excellence is better than 10 mediocre clients where some of those deals went sideways. Never forget that. Point 3 is to never be afraid to charge high ticket once you realize the value you are providing. And this is my favorite thing about running an AI agency. Unlike most service businesses, what we do for our clients actually delivers real, measurable, undeniable value to these business owners. We're not selling them a basic logo, a little basic funnel, just a little bit of marketing. We're selling something that's actually life-changing. We're solving real problems that are costing them real money and filling the gaps in their business that have been around for years. When you install an AI voice receptionist for a law firm and they start capturing $30,000 deals that they were missing out on before, that's real, genuine, life-changing value. That's money in their bank account because of something you did. When you sell a RAG system to a plumbing company that's saving that business owner 2 hours every single day because they're not constantly responding to employees, answering all of their basic questions, that's time. That's something you gave them. That's actual, genuine freedom. And that's why you can charge $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 for these AI systems. And it's not because you're greedy. It's because the value you are delivering far exceeds what you are charging. And that's the key to any successful business. But here's the thing, business owners don't automatically understand what you're offering and how much value it's going to provide. That's your role as an AI consultant. And this all comes back to PPM. When you go through the pain point prioritization method with the business owner, you're really just building their case on why they need to say yes to your solution. You're not convincing them, they're convincing themselves. The way that I've been so successful with sales, especially with B2B, is that it's very logical. Let me give you an example of how this plays out. Let's say you're talking to an HVAC company and you find out they're missing about 15 calls every single day, and especially after hours. The average job for them is $2,000. Even if only 1 in 5 of those calls would have closed, that's 3 jobs a day, which equates to about $6,000, which equates to $180,000 a month. You also find out that the business owner is spending 2 hours every single day answering the same stupid questions from his electricians that he just can't get enough of. Where's the invoice template? What's the warranty policy? All these basic questions. At this rate, it's probably $150 an hour in opportunity cost for this business owner. 2 hours a day, 250 working hours a day. That's another $75,000 in lost time. Now you recap it all back to them so they actually understand your value. So based off what you told me, Mr. Business Owner, you're losing out about $180,000 a year just because you're not answering the phone on time, and an additional $75,000 a year because of those repetitive internal questions. That's over $2 million a year in combined losses. Now, once they realize that they're losing out on $2 million a year because of their issue, your $15,000 upfront package doesn't sound very big, and your $1,000 a month fee doesn't sound very big either. They will literally make back their investment in under 2 weeks. And that's what PPM does. It reframes the conversation completely. You're not a vendor asking for money. You're a consultant who went into a business, identified a problem I didn't even know existed, pointed out that problem, and offered a very reasonable price in comparison to their massive issue. When you position it that way, correctly, with real numbers, that's when the business owner understands that your offering is a no-brainer and you close these high-ticket deals 70% of the time. I want to say another thing. Stop undercharging. I want to say something that's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable. When you undercharge and you let fear talk you into charging $1,500 instead of charging $15,000 for a high-ticket AI solution, the only person you're hurting is yourself. You're hurting the client because at $1,500, you can't even afford to hire a great developer. You can't afford to spend the time getting this right, building the perfect system. You rush the project, the results are mediocre, and the business owner walks away thinking that AI is a scam. When you charge what it's actually worth, you have the margin to deliver something truly excellent. You bring in a top developer, you manage the project meticulously, and you deliver a product that's absolutely perfect. And of course, you make sure that it's actually solving the problem. Selling high ticket to these business owners doesn't just do good for you, it's actually how you do right by the client and deliver them the best product. So stop apologizing for your prices. Stop caving in. Don't cave in at the first, that seems expensive. Bring it back to their pain point and how much money you're actually saving them in comparison to your smaller costed solution. That's the reframe. That's how you hold your price. Your $15,000 solution is expensive. What? Compared to what? The $180,000 a month that you're missing out on, or the $75,000 you're missing out on a year? What seems more expensive? You'll literally make your money back in 2 weeks. Don't obviously say it in that tone to the business owner, but that's what you should be conveying with how you're selling. That's the frame. That's how you hold the price. And that's how you build an AI agency that actually changes business owners' lives, not just your own. So let's quickly recap. Here are 3 things that I would tell any beginner when it comes to starting an AI agency. 1, don't build, sell. Stop over obsessing with the technology and actually get real business conversations with these business owners and master the art of selling, because that's what makes real money. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. 2, value is absolutely everything. Quality over quantity. Your first client isn't worth $4,000. They're worth every single client they are going to send you if you build a good relationship and if you actually provide value with your AI system. Deliver extraordinary results, let word of mouth do the heavy lifting, and that's how you build an excellent AI agency. 3, don't be afraid to charge high ticket. You're not selling AI, you're solving real business problems that are costing these owners hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. AI is just simply the vehicle that solves those problems. When you quantify their pain correctly using PPM, the business owner pretty much just sells themselves. And eventually your $10,000, $15,000 fee becomes the most obvious investment they've ever made. This is the exact mindset shift that took me from making a few grand a month to making over 6 figures in profit in the past 3 months alone. And it's available to anyone who's willing to put in the work and build this business the right way. Now, knowing the framework is one thing. Actually building it, getting on sales calls, making sure the deal closes, managing developers, finding developers, that's another thing. If you want me to personally walk you through how to do this and how to exactly build your AI business from scratch, the PPM framework, all of my outreach scripts, all of my sales scripts, how I actually talk to business owners, my entire network of developers, everything you would possibly need to build an AI business from 0 to 20K a month, apply with the link below. We'll look at your specific situation, where you're at, and if it makes sense, I'll walk you through exactly how to build your AI agency from scratch with access to all of my systems. But the truth is, I only work with people who are serious and who want to make a legitimate change, actually build this AI agency and put in the work required. I work with you intensively one-on-one, making sure that every single step of the way, I'm holding your hand to building a successful AI business. Click the link below, fill out the application, and we will see if we're a good fit to work together. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you on the other side.